Hello and welcome to today's programme. My name's Lucy and I'm joined by the lovely Claire.
Welcome to the programme.
So we're here today. We've decided to collaborate and put together a little bit of a New Year's resolution slot for you. So a little bit of background and knowledge on both of us. As I said, my name's Lucy and my programme is all about what makes you happy. And with Claire, Claire, tell us, what made you start up a fitness and wellbeing company?
So I've been working in fitness and wellbeing for a number of years. It's something that I've been passionate about for a long time, from a personal point of view and from helping other people to get fit and healthy. And I think there's so much that you can do to make little changes to your lifestyle that can, see some real benefits.
And as I said, with me, I'm talking about what makes you happy. So hopefully you've guessed why we've collaborated today. And our big topic, actually, we decided to talk about is something that we're wondering if you've actually suddenly thought, hang on a minute. Yeah, I've slipped. It is the New Year's resolution. I know we've talked about this quite a bit, myself and Claire, recently over coffee, and we both agreed that we're not actually personally fans of having New Year's resolutions. But Claire yesterday told me a story which I thought was quite funny and a little bit apt.
So a few days ago, I was in a waiting room, and as you do, you've got a pile of magazines there to keep you busy while you're in the waiting room. And on the top was a feature: New Year, New You, best new way to keep fit, lose weight, and all of those other things associated with New Year's resolutions. And the date on the magazine was January 2017. So
and we're in 2018.
It just made me think. It's the same features, the same stories, the same promotion about the latest fitness program, the latest diet, and all of these things that we kind of buy into year after year. But how often do we actually stick to it?
This is true. So that's why we actually went out onto the streets today of Covent Garden, London, and we've asked the people of London if you've stuck to your New Year's resolution and what it obviously was to start with. We've actually also come up with some tips to help you out, but let's go over to the streets of Covent Garden.
Okay, so we're asking people today, have you made a New Year's resolution and have you stuck to it?
Well, I've been trying to find a way of getting my young people or older teenagers on board by just trying to find a way around and getting them on board so we can work together. So trying to find a way of speaking that doesn't challenge them so much. So try and find a little bit way around the outside of a problem and see if they can find a way to... I said that too many times, haven't I?
Okay, that's always a challenge with teenagers, isn't it? And how's it been going so far? What sort of strategies have you tried?
Well, it's worked incredibly well with one of them and not at all well with the other. The other one sees through it very easily and goes, yeah, I can see where you're coming from. And the other one says, hey, that's a good plan. So I think maybe you're working with them as they mature.
Okay, so it's good that it's worked with one, so maybe it just needs a little bit more persistence with the other one.
Time. Yes, I think you're right. I think a bit more persistence and a bit of time and a bit of maturity on her part.
So I'm on the streets of Covent Garden, myself, Lucy and Claire, and I'm with the lovely... Neve, great name, Neve. And we're asking, obviously, what has been your New Year's resolutions, if you've had any this year, and have you stuck to them?
So I focus more on goals and resolutions, try and do achievable stuff, really. I wanted to keep up learning Spanish, be kinder to myself. I think I said read a book a week, which is a bit much, but once a month at least is good. And less bedtime Netflix, more bedtime reading.
Nice. Yeah, I think screens, reading's better than screens. Have you stuck to it, Neve?
Some of them, definitely being kinder to myself, definitely reading more, but it's hard to kick the late night binging on Netflix sometimes. That's all you want to do.
Thanks for that. And how's the Spanish going?
Good. I need to book in some more lessons, But yeah, work in progress.
Keep it up. We're only in February. Thanks, Neve. So we are out on the streets of London Covent Garden, myself, Lucy and Claire, and we're asking obviously the big question. Have you made any New Year's resolutions in the past? If so, what? And did they work? Or if you've got one this year that is still going strong?
So I haven't made one this year, and the ones I've made in the past are normally rubbish ones, like lose weight and don't eat so much rubbish, and then I just don't do them. They're nothing, I suppose there's nothing tangible, like I will lose this much weight. They're always just, by the end of the year, I will be slim, and then I'm not.
So have you started with a plan and then it's just fizzled out, or is it just something that's come into your head and you've just not bothered?
Well, I started once with a diet plan. I signed up online, and then I was so hungry that I just wanted to eat my own face, so I didn't do it.
Amazing. Well, thanks for that.
Women's radio station. Advertise here.
Our charity, the IBS Network, has been supporting people living with irritable bowel syndrome for over 26 years. We receive no NHS or government funding. IBS affects 10 to 20% of the UK population at any one time. That's over 12 million people living with IBS every day. Suffering alone with IBS can be devastating and can lead to feelings of isolation and severely impact people's working and personal lives. It's a complex and life-changing condition with symptoms varying from person to person and may include crampy abdominal pain, alternating bowel habits, diarrhoea, constipation or both, bloating and swelling of the abdomen, excessive wind and the need to rush to the toilet. By donating just £2 per month to our charity, you can join the IBS Network community, speak to our specialist medical experts, and help yourself and others like you to live well with IBS. Find out more by visiting our website at theibsnetwork.org or call us on 0114 272 3253.
Storybox Impro, the kids' art and impro show for ages 4 to 11 years. The kids' show where the audience get a show and their own special art creation. Now taking bookings for parties and weddings tailored especially for your special occasion. All you need is your imagination. Visit storyboximpro.com or visit womensradiostation.com now.
WRS hosts Young Presenter of the Year Awards. Visit our website for more details. If you're aged 13 to 17, get involved.
So we'd actually like to hear from you, lovely listeners out there, viewers. Gosh, I'm changing media here. Now, basically, we'd like to hear from you. So if you've got or had a New Year's resolution that you'd like to share, and whether or not you managed to keep it, or obviously if you were looking at this year, if you're managing to keep it, how? Please, please, please share your secrets, because I'm sure there are many people out there, with it being the lovely winter time, that are struggling to carry on with your New Year's resolutions. Do you have, being a fitness and well-being guru, Claire, do you have any specific top tips you would give?
I think the main one is when you're looking at any lifestyle changes, health and fitness goals, is to look at something that is going to be realistic for you and achievable. So it's good to set goals that are challenging, but just to be kind of realistic and not have a complete lifestyle overhaul with kind of sort of too many changes that you're trying to kind of commit to all in one go. So and there are ways of it doesn't have to be going to the gym every single day. It could just be small changes to your lifestyle. Even your commute to work, for example. I mean, could you walk to work rather than drive if it was a reasonable distance, or run or cycle? This morning, for example, I came into Covent Garden and got off the tube, and there was a huge queue for the 4 lifts. And I looked at the stairwell, and it said 193 steps.
Kind of puts you off to start with, doesn't it?
Well,
like,
I thought, and I saw a couple of other people going. I thought, you know what, I'm going to take the stairs.
Good
so
on you.
there was a guy walking up the stairs with me at the same time who looked fairly fit, and we kind of took the first few steps and looked at each other, and he said to me, "Why are we doing this?"
Did he?
And yeah, we kind of had quite a nice chat on the way up, actually. And
a bit of motivational banter
Oh
on the
yeah,
to get
definitely,
you down. That's cool.
Definitely. But it was, I thought it's kind of it's nice when you kind of to just sort of get your legs working a little bit and sort of feel your heart rate going a little bit as well in the morning. And
was it worth it?
It was. I
Good.
thought, and I got to the top, and I thought, that wasn't so bad. And I had a little look online when I got into Nero's, got my coffee, sat down with my laptop, and I thought got onto Google, and I found a website on there that tells you how many steps there are in all of the London tube stations, and how many calories that would burn. So if you were making that journey every day, and you included that as part of your commute, so Covent Garden, for example, 193 steps. Over the year, 11,270 calories.
Over the year, so it didn't do it per time you did it. That's a bit.
It
of a
doesn't.
shame.
Well, I'm sure there are ways of
working
finding
it
out,
out,
but it just kind of gives you an idea how making a small change like that can.
That's really good.
Sort of.
And that's
add
an app, did you say?
It's. I'm sure there will be apps. It's called Step Jockey. I'm sure they've got an app as well.
So yeah, for those listeners out there, if you wanted to check out more about this particular Google that Claire has found, do go to our website. All our information of anything that we talk about today on our programme will be on that. It's www.womensradiostation.com. So yeah, check it out, or obviously on our Twitter as well, at Women's Radio STN. Those details will be on there. I think that's a really, really cool tip, actually.
It's just
for Londoners especially.
Yeah, definitely. It's just little things like that. I mean, there are so many changes you can make to your weekly routine just to kind of be more active. Maybe finding different ways of being active and times. Just to kind of fit it into your routine. Whether you can do something in the morning, whether it's easy for you to do something at lunchtime or after work.
So yeah, I think the thing is as well is being more true to yourself and what's going to be realistic. I think realistic, as you said, is the main thing. I think so many of us make like big statements or big goals that are just unachievable to our own personal day-to-day lives. I think we just need to just take a step back and realise what is going to work. And then once we've achieved that goal, it just feels a lot better, even if it's really, really small. Definitely. And then because you can always end up growing to the bigger picture. Who knows? Yeah. Who knows what you achieve at the end of these little steps? Yeah,
and fitness and being active is just part of it. It's also kind of nutrition and things like that, which is equally as important. But at the same time, it's all about balance. If you want to set a goal and something that's achievable and sustainable, all about balance.
Nice.
And moderation.
Balance and moderation.
What's your deal? What's your action? What's your plan? You're acting like a boy. You're supposed to be a man. Spreading hate and lies wherever you go. I don't need to listen to you. I know exactly what I want to do. I just want to go out and have some fun. I don't need to listen to you. Won't be the one to let you play me for a fool. I'll do what I want because I can. You're like a current pulling water down the river. And what you take can make a strong girl shiver. She will never let it hit her in her soul. I don't need to listen to you. I know exactly what I want to do. I just want to go out and have some fun. I don't need to listen to you. Won't be the one to let you play me for a fool. I'll do what I want because I can. At least I know you can't hurt me when I'm all alone.
so welcome back to the Health You programme. So you're with myself, Claire, and Lucy.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
So we're going to talk a bit about something that affects quite a number of people at this time of year. SAD syndrome.
Oh, don't call it that, Claire.
Well,
I have a little bit of a pet hate for that name, actually. I suffer from it sometimes, but yeah,
it affects a lot of people. Also known as seasonal affective disorder.
See, I didn't know, listeners, that it was called that, and I think it's a bit of a mouthful. So I like to call it SAD, which to some sounds like something else, and yeah, it's not. But yeah, it's much nicer way of putting it. To be told or kind of turn around and saying, "Oh, I'm really sad at the moment," it's it just seems like, "Oh, what's wrong?" But no, tell us more.
So it's as I said, it affects a lot of people at this time of year. Obviously, our winters are quite long and drawn out, really, aren't they? It can, the weather here can be, pretty grim, pretty grey and damp for a few months. So to get through that, it's, it kind of, it can be quite tough, really. We're waiting for the for summer to come along. But it affects different people in different ways, and it is recognised as a form of it can be sort of depression and come in various sort of symptoms for people that were affected by it. It can be sort of anxiety, as said, sort of depression, problems with sleeping, so many different things. But there are ways of overcoming it and getting through through these kind of winter months. So Lucy, what's your experience of SAD?
Cheers. Well, I think for me it's a case of sometimes just being a bit robotic and just going, do you know what, it's only a few months, it's not the end of the world. Summer is around the corner. It's always going to be around the corner because we do have this life cycle that we live in. So we are going to get some sunshine. And actually, funnily enough, coming in today, it's a really, really nice February day. We do have the odd days that are sunny. But getting yourself sunny, I think, it can be a challenge, especially if you're having a stressful week. Whether it be at work or, like you said, not being able to sleep that well. And I think getting up in the mornings is so tricky. And if you are a bit of a night owl like myself, it's a difficult one. I think, as I said, you've got to just kind of block out any thoughts of, oh, I don't want to get up and I'm dreary and outside is dreary, and just basically go, do you know what? No, right, come on, get up, just be robotic about it, get yourself out of bed. Sometimes even, this sounds really silly, but I literally will get up and like kind of jump out of bed, like rather than sort of slowly step out, because I think if you take your time over something like that, it elongates that feeling even more. So if you're still in bed, listeners, do this. Literally, get yourself out of bed. Just jump out of bed right now and stretch. And that's probably going to make you feel so much better. Hopefully going to make you feel so much better. Or even if you're at your desk, that's another thing. A lot of people that are in offices, if you're stuck and your fingers are on keyboards all day long, literally take those fingers. Really want to see those fingers. That's a well-known phrase from a TV program. Who literally, if you're as old as me, you'll know what I'm talking about. Channel 4. It was a really good program. Vic and Bob, actually. I really want to see
that.
Those
Was
fingers.
Yeah, I remember that one. You're not alone.
So yeah, literally take your fingers off your keyboards, okay, and just wiggle your fingers around. Even put them up in the air. And I know there's going to be lots of other people in the offices that are going to look at you like, what on earth are you doing? But literally, just wave your arms about, give your fingers a shake, and then go back again and take a deep breath.
It is just moving.
Yeah.
Makes such a difference.
Huge. And just taking deep breaths. Yeah. The other thing I actually really enjoy doing in terms of having SAD is getting out. Just getting outside. Getting out and about, even if it is a dreary day. Because I think a lot of people will get up in the dark. They go to work in the dark. They come back and it's dark. Or they come out of their office and it's dark. So they haven't actually seen any daylight. Don't do that, guys. Take those 5 minutes. literally, if you have a working lunch, we go, oh, I take my lunch to my office. Sorry, I know I said that in a really silly posh voice, but no, take a break, take 5 minutes, literally, even if it's just to go pop outside, take a few deep breaths and come back in again. Do it, because you're at least seeing some sort of daylight. It's the worst thing, especially if you do suffer from SAD, to literally get in that bubble. You need to see daylight of some sort, even if it is dreary out there. It's getting some fresh air and getting yourself out and about and outside.
Definitely. Vitamin D is what we all need, for sure.
That's another one, definitely. Vitamin D. I don't take vitamin D supplements.
No, I think some people also find vitamin B is useful when they suffer from
What is the
SADs.
difference?
So, I mean, they both kind of basically boost your energy levels. So, I mean, those are the two main things that most people kind of find most helpful. And like we said, just getting out in some daylight, really.
Yeah.
I mean, this morning I was up super early this morning.
What?
I was doing yoga at 6:30.
Hey, check you out.
It does take a bit of the first time that I looked at my gym schedule and I thought, I really enjoy yoga.
Yeah.
But the times of the sessions and things, and I thought, what, it's actually a really, really nice way to start the day.
Massively, I agree with you. I do it sometimes. Going back to what I said about the leaping out of bed, actually, if you do it, especially, obviously my slot's all about what makes you happy, and I'd be talking a lot about sort of mindfulness and well-being as well, which is again why we've collaborated today. And I think sometimes if you're not in the right headspace and you find your head is racing with lots of different things, do some yoga, because it's not as high energy as a lot of other things if you're not a massive fitness freak, or if you find that you just want to start off with a fitness regime. Yoga is massive. It's so easy. There's so many just really easy stretches and poses that when you're concentrating in it, you take your mind away from all your stresses and all your problems and issues, and it does start your day off really well.
Definitely, yeah. It's a great way to, even if you are very active, well, I think particularly if you are very active, if you do, any kind of like running or cycling, anything like that, most people will find that they've got, specific muscles. Hamstrings, for example, are really tight, and yoga is the best way to stretch out and prevent injury. And
so many people don't stretch out before and after they've been to the gym. I hear so many men that when I go to my local gym that don't. They say, oh yeah, I'll do some stretches afterwards. Or for instance, my housemate was like, oh, I'm stretching now, there's no point. I go out and I just do my weights or whatever. And that's it. And they take their protein shakes and they think that's brilliant. And then they moan the next day, oh my God, my hamstrings. Or just a few stretches. It takes a few seconds. Even if you do it at home before you leave, or if you're in the office, even if you're in the toilets, just stretch out if you haven't got any space. I did it once. And I kind of got some funny looks, but it works. It helps. It really helps to warm those muscles up, especially in the middle of winter.
So if you haven't tried it, we would definitely recommend it.
Welcome to Women's Radio Station, the voice of women worldwide.
So I do glitter for a living.
Coming up next on Women's Radio Station.
WRS, Women's Radio Station.
Hey, this is Jessie and I'm a life architect.
So what has made you say F it in rage or F it in joy this week?
I love listening to women's radio whilst driving in my car.
My sport and me. Listen online, on your smartphone and on your computer.
If you wanted to find out a little bit more, do go to our website, womensradiostation.com.
So welcome back. So before the break, we were talking about seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD syndrome or SAD. And we were talking about how to overcome the troubles that people kind of face sort of through the winter months, and that sort of anxiety and sort of stress associated with just dealing with the dark days and long dark days. So we were talking about one of the things was about getting outside whenever you can, any opportunity. So obviously we go to work, it's dark, we come home, it's dark, although the mornings are starting to get a bit lighter now, but we can also, I know a few people have sort of invested in SAD lamps. So I don't know. I think Lucy, we talked about this the other day, didn't we? And
Yeah.
I think I don't know if you've used one or a friend of yours has used one and found it really
haven't,
useful.
But actually my sister has, and she was talking to me about it the other week. And she said all the family were sort of mocking her a little bit and making fun of her for having this lamp thing by the side of her bed. But do you know what? She said actually it works because it works gradually. It doesn't sort of hit you in the face like you've woken up and someone's opened your curtains and you've got the sun beating down on you. So it doesn't wake you up like a big foghorn. But what it does do is gradually bring you into the light, you might say. So it kind of wakes you up very slowly. So she said it's worked for her. It gradually wakes you up. So
I think there are different things. So you can get those ones that sort of the light gradually increases in the room. So as an alarm clock, but you can also get a lamp that you can basically kind of just sort of turn on as a lamp. And it has the same effect. It's kind of like a panel of light. So if you're kind of in an office or in a
it's
room
like
in
your
the
own
house,
personal sunbed, but not
yeah,
dangerous.
yeah.
I suppose they wouldn't sell them.
But it just has that those beneficial effects of seeing some sunlight and getting a bit of much needed vitamin D. So
fab. Well, if you want to know more, if you are suffering from SAD, as I call it, the cool kids, so if you are suffering a little bit, then please do go onto our website, which is
www.womensradiostation.co.uk,
or visit our Twitter page, which is at Women's Radio STN.
You can listen to us online on our website or on our smartphone fancy app.
Slick 50 Barbershop is my kitsch barbers based in Southend-on-Sea since 1989, where I've been cutting gents and ladies' hair, specialising in retro haircuts, whether they be quiffs, flat tops, young or old. It's always been about lifestyle. Music and fashion have always been a big part of my life and inspiration for my work, where my workplace has become a community in which we sell a small selection of vintage apparel, T-shirts, CDs, and our very own shop brand Toot Sweet pomade. We open Tuesdays, Thursdays, Fridays and Saturdays with 2 late nights a week. Please call 01702 390 916 or barbershoprockabilly.co.uk.
Women's radio station. Get involved.
What's your name?
Jess.
Jess. Hi, Jess. So we're asking people today, what's your New Year's resolution, if you've made one, and how are you doing at sticking to it?
Well, I was just saying that I found a diary the other day from when I was 18 and I had the same resolutions in it that I'm making now at 42. So yeah, I'm not very good at sticking to them, in other words.
Oh, okay. So are we allowed to ask what they were?
I'm trying to remember. Get fit, do more art, read more, travel, just that kind of thing. Yeah.
Okay, and are there any of those things that you've managed to do? Did you set yourself any sort of specific goals, or is there any one of those things that you feel that you've progressed with?
Not really. I think I aimed too high. I had too many, and I couldn't stick to them all. And I'm not rich enough either.
Yeah. Okay, so if there was one of those things that you could focus on for this year, what would it be? What would be your priority?
Probably the easy one: to get fit, keep fit.
Okay, well, you look like you're doing all right to me, so excellent. Thanks very much. Okay, so we're here in Covent Garden, and I'm here with
Karina.
Karina, nice to meet you, Karina. So, big question is, we're asking people in the streets in Covent Garden today, did you make a New Year's resolution, and have you managed to stick to it?
Actually, okay, sorry, my English is not too good. New Year's resolution, is it something like a stuff you say like you want to do this year?
Exactly. So in January, lots of people say they're going to start to get fit, they're going to take up a new hobby, do some kind of goal or something like that. Did you set any goals this year?
Actually, yes. I wanted to come to London, so I've done that already.
Fantastic. Yeah. And how are you finding London?
Sorry?
How are you finding London? Are you having fun?
Oh, I love it. I love London because I've been here a year ago the first time and I just fell in love, so I wanted to come back as often as I can. So yeah, that's the first time of like 2 or 3 times I wanted to come here this year. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. And you've got a beautiful sunny day here as well.
I'm pretty lucky with that one, actually. I'm so glad because everyone told me that the weather is not too good. Like, it's rainy, and every time I came here, it's been sunny. So, yeah.
Oh, lucky you. Well, keep bringing the sun out with you.
Yeah.
Okay, have a fantastic day.
Thank you.
Hi, so we're back in the studio following our little trip out into Covent Garden, where we were asking various people, did you make a New Year's resolution and how are you doing at sticking to it? And we got some really interesting responses, actually. Variety of different goals that people have set themselves. And
it's interesting you say as well, goals, because everyone, whenever you mention New Year's resolutions, a lot of people said, well, don't really like to call it that. I like to call it goals, which I think is quite nice.
Yeah, I think it seems more positive, I think, than resolution. So I think, you know, it's whatever works for people. But a lot of people found they really struggled with sticking to these goals or resolutions or targets, whatever they called it. A lot of the time, I think people had said that they had struggled because they'd set too many goals and things that weren't realistic.
As we were saying earlier, if you listened into the programme, that was obviously our big tip. Well, Claire's big tip was be realistic, and that's something we are noticing a lot of people haven't been, and they've all been saying that, actually, that they've been setting the usual. A lot of them have said the usual, the keeping fit, the going to the gym, and just not actually following it through.
Exactly. Apart from one, there was one guy who had so we're speaking to guys as well, because I think it's interesting to know, you know, sort of talk to guys and get their sort of opinions and perspectives on things as well. So one guy was successful in what he called wet January. So
yeah, that's a new one.
The majority, a lot of people do dry January and try not to sort of drink alcohol following a fairly heavy December, and he'd been successful in
carrying that on. Carrying on with
the majority of January. So
fair enough.
It was interesting. Also, one lady that we spoke to said that she found a diary from when she was 18, and her resolution then was a number of resolutions actually. She had 3, which she was happy to share with us, which were keeping fit, being more adventurous, and sort of various other things. But she noticed that she'd had the same resolution from when she was 18 that she seems to keep repeating every year. And like we sort of talked about, these routines that we get into, every January sort of tend to sort of set the same goals. And for whatever reason, maybe they're not realistic or achievable. We really struggle to stick to them.
So if you feel, though, that we've not been touching upon something maybe that you have had as a resolution, or a goal in the past that you may have achieved, and you've actually said, do you know what, guys? No, I've actually stuck to the gym. I've gone every week, or I've gone like a few times a week, and I'm doing really well. Or if you want to share a story maybe in the past of something that you've had as a goal and you followed it through and it's worked, or anything you want to share, or any tips you may have on basically keeping yourself motivated, we're here to listen, but also to give you some tips and ideas. So please do email us at presenters@womensradiostation.com. Otherwise, of course, we do have Twitter at Women's Radio STN. # What Makes You Happy if you want to listen into my programme. That is What Makes You Happy with Lucy. And obviously with Claire's as well. And Claire's is, go on, Claire.
Healthy You. So # Healthy You.